fought. We had opportunities to win the game tonight. I mean, I remember a couple of layup looks in the overtime periods that we needed to finish, and those players need to step up and finish those. We got great looks. They got to. Credit goes to Charlie Cipriano. He's a wonderful goalie from Long Island, and but we got to finish the ball. I don't believe we lost on the last play. I know that ends the game. I wasn't thrilled the way we were playing in the first quarter, and there were certainly opportunities throughout the game to not make it an overtime type game. The guys worked hard, and I wish they would have won just because they would have got a little reprieve, but that's not, you can't wish wins. You got to earn them, and we got to go back to the drawing board.
Coach, that last play of the game, it seemed like there was some sort of a defensive miscommunication. What happened?
They switched up inside, and you know, there was a little bit of a redodge. We had our freshman pole on him, Ryan Riley, played him really well all game, and I'm going to have to look at the film on why we didn't slide. He got a shot from about 7, and a righty hash, and they finished their shot, and we didn't finish ours. Again, I'm going to have to watch the film. Sometimes it becomes like a car crash, and you got to see all the facts.
Coach, talk about the adjustments you guys made after the first quarter.
Yeah, I mean, we settled in. You know, we can't give up 5 goals in a quarter and expect to not be in a hole. I mean, it's only a 15-minute period. So with that being said, we need to do a better job coming out of the gate and being ready to go. You know, I take that. We're going to do a better job of getting my team ready to go. You know, and for some reason we were a little bit frozen. I look at the scoring, and they put 5 up in the first, and then defensively for the rest of the game they did a pretty good job of settling in with a lot of young guys out there. I just told them there was times in overtime late in the game where we had a lot of guys that they were on the sidelines or in high school last year, and they got one heck of a learning experience, and I'm proud of those guys.
What did you think of Antoniadis? It seemed like he played like his old self.
Yeah, I mean, the stats have it as we're 1 goal over 500 there. It certainly helps. I mean, that he was better. They were jamming him up a little bit towards the end, but he did you know, after the first quarter, he did a great job. He you know, 4 for 4, 3 for 5. Those are the quarters that we like, and we asked him to be, you know, 1 over 500 every time, every quarter, and for the most part, we did that. Outside of we needed to stop the bleeding in the first quarter. We can't have a 5-goal quarter against us. Can't do it.
All right. For a team that's pretty young, is there anything you can take from this game that you can kind of build on going forward?
Yeah, I mean, a lot. And, you know, we're going to be in. We're in it through the good times. We're in it through the bad times. And when you graduate the house and lose a couple of injuries, there's opportunities out there, and you got to live with some growing pains. There's no getting around it. And we played against a pretty older group in Fairfield. I mean, they didn't graduate a ton last year.
24 back.
What's that? 24 back? Yeah, and a new face-off guy from Drexel. So, and a pretty good goalie. So, I mean, we played a senior-laden team or a more experienced team, and we stood there toe-to-toe. That bodes well for the future. That doesn't, you know, what we need to do is we need more games, more game experience, and you only get those, you know, on game day to get the same type of intensity and learn on the job right there.
All right. You said before that you wanted to see them play your style, like play Hofstra style, the style that they can win with this year. How much of that did you see today?
At times I saw it. I did, and at times you know, to be perfectly honest, we didn't. You know, we had breakdowns defensively, offensively. We took shots that instead of waiting for the better shot, which was later on in the possession, we took a first shot, and we need to know that, you know, we can't play a ton of defense, and we'll go look at the tape tonight and do time of possession. But when you're really young, you got to have the ball a little bit, and we certainly didn't have it as much as we wanted, and a lot of that has to do with some of the youthful mistakes that were made.
What did you tell Anthony during the week? Because tonight was clearly a stark difference between Saturday and tonight.
Yeah, I mean, I got to be perfectly honest with you. I didn't tell him anything. John's a player where he didn't start tonight. That meant a lot to him. You know, Zach Ball goes out and takes the first face-off, and I had allowed Kevin Unterstein, our face-off coach, to make that call. He works with them every day. I told him I'd back him, young coach, you know, I thought he made the right decision. John was 2 for 10 versus Princeton. Zach was 7 for 12, and you know, if we're going to preach the better guys, the guys that are earning, are going to get playing time, then you have to back up what you say. So John stepped up for us tonight, and hopefully he can start to get on the winning ways, because we got our work cut out with our schedule.
You know, Coach, on the last play, it seemed like maybe Ryan Riley, you know, I don't know if he peeled off, maybe a little too early. Can you walk us through maybe, you know, what you're gonna tell your defense or what occurred?
Yeah, I mean, listen, the guys have been passing it the whole night, and they were dodging down the side and kind of going behind, and that's a freshman pole, Ryan Riley. You know, he's gearing up for the Huntington game this time last year, and he was out there in a big-time game in a big-time atmosphere, and that, like I said earlier, that bodes well for the future. It doesn't take away a lot of the pain right now. We should have slid, and there was a breakdown. I got to look at the film, because they switched up to a little bit of the crease inside. You're normally taught to hold. Even if your guy vacates, you hold, because he's moving away from the goal, and you still have to be there. So I don't know when the switch took place, and if it was, that's a communication issue, and our whole defense would be responsible for that, because communication has been an issue with our youth. You know, a lot of guys, they're afraid to talk. They don't know what to say, and they need to be told, and sometimes they're game deaf, and we need to work on that. And tonight was an unbelievable experience for some of our guys.
Coach, how about some of the you had many opportunities to come out and execute out of a timeout.
Mm-hmm.
Just kind of the same thing. Maybe some of your veteran midfielders in decision making.
Yeah, we just talked about it. You know, as such, for a youthful team, we need our older guys to make better decisions. There's no getting around it. We had a couple of plays drawn up, and we never got to the second part of the play. And you know what? Again, I'm going to have to look at the film. I trust Steve Serling. I do. He's a wonderful player, a wonderful person. And if he thought that he could win it on a left-handed shot down the alley, then I, you know, as a coach, I trust him. You know, we had an extension of the play that I would have loved. Now knowing the results, I would have liked to see it run through. And Ian Bradish gets an unbelievable look and dodges and splits two, and he gets a great look inside. I mean, what else do you want? If you're not going to finish that, as the losing coach, do you deserve to win? You got the look that you wanted to get. You got to finish the ball, because you're not going to get them every time down the floor.
You had a pretty strong performance out of your goalie tonight. How do you keep his confidence up coming off of an overtime loss?
Yeah, I mean, listen, he did a good job. I mean, 17 saves. I think that, you know, both goalies played really well. You know, Charlie Cipriano did a great job, and Andrew, he saw a lot of rubber in the first half, and he had 10 saves in the first half. He did a good job. He did a good job. I think we have to feel the pain of losing, especially as a young team. You can't just wash it away. It's got to sting for a little bit. We'll do a good job as coaches to shake it before we head up north to a very good Harvard team. And, you know, the story is pretty set. I think we're going to be playing a lot of older teams than us this year. And we're going to get better each and every game.
Anything else?
Thanks, Coach.